I saw Korman. Korman got up.
He tried to start
and tried to get a standing ovation going.
Yeah, it didn't go too well, did it? No, he was the only one. Yeah.
Harvey stood up, and you looked out, and nobody. There was Korman, and finally Harvey sits down. And
yeah, he's embarrassing.
Tim Conway was so funny his jokes were considered dangerous. This is Tim Conway at his absolute funniest. His first appearance on Johnny Carson.
I wasn't going to come out all evening that night. I felt, what the heck, it was a lot better in there than going out and eating with Harvey. But that was a weird night. The man actually said, "Are you here for the picture?" And I said, "Yes," and he put me right in the projection room.
And you sat there?
Yeah. Well, I didn't know whether that's where he wanted me or not. So I just figured,
since the first roll is on, I'll have it roll.
Yeah. No.
Look, I've been doing this show now. At the end of this month, we have an anniversary show coming up. We're starting our 16th year. You have never been on this show.
That's true.
And I know we have asked you before.
Well, I didn't know you did this.
Conway walks out for his first Carson appearance looking completely harmless, then immediately turns the interview into a patience test through silence alone. I'm only here for the paycheck.
You love to do, as they say.
To go out and entertain an audience, to bear yourself in front of an audience, just to get a couple of laughs and make other people smile when you're so miserable.
And take home a few thou a week, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's the important thing.
That's the main thing.
Yeah, that's the main thing. A lot of people don't think we're in it for the money, but I am.
I've often heard that.
Yeah.
You got in it just for the
a lot
money.
of people think I want to get to the top. That's not necessarily so. No. Paycheck's the big thing to me. I don't particularly care about ratings or anything. If the paycheck clears, that's it with me.
And many of them in this business haven't the past few years.
Yeah.
Conway's money bit on Carson starts with completely fake sincerity before sliding into absurd honesty as he uses the space Johnny gives him to make greed sound almost noble, making Letterman break out laughing.
It's kind of a Noel Coward kind of thing.
Coward. It's a little bit of Shakespeare, a lot of Plato and Aristotle and things like that, with great psychological overtones and interwoven dialectics and everything are right in there. Yeah, no question about that.
Is it doing business, the film?
We only have the one print, unfortunately. And that's here tonight, so I got to rush this right out.
You got to get it.
Yeah, I can't
get it downtown. Sure, people will be waiting on it.
Yeah. So we take it house to house, which is even better than
you don't get that kind of service these days. No.
And that's how you're sure of your money. You get in there with 6 people who are having dinner, and then you show the film. You're sure that you got $1.50 ahead.
Conway's 1986 Letterman appearance gives his timing a sharper wall to bounce against as Dave's nervous sarcasm keeps trying to maintain a crisp pace. Tim and Carol Burnett break Johnny Carson.
I pulled up, and a guy in a red jacket said, "Can I take your car?" And I said, "Yeah." And I said, "Do I need a ticket?" And he said, "No, I don't think so." And that's the last I saw of him or my car.
That's true.
Sure. Stole my car.
You gave it to some guy wearing a red jacket?
Yeah. Well, if a guy comes up and you're parking for a party, and they have valet and everything, a guy comes up in a red coat and says, "Can I have your car?" Wouldn't you give it to him?
I guess so.
I did.
And the car disappeared and the guy
disappeared. And they found it 28 days later. Yeah. I don't know where the guy is. I guess he's probably still doing that.
Carol Burnett and Tim Conway together on Carson already feel dangerous before the conversation even starts. Conway makes Richard Pryor lose it.
Guess his kids are all well. Tim, do you have anything wrong with your kids at home?
Oh, I'm sorry. Just do it.
I'm doing some research on...
I just wondered if you had an opinion on it.
I'm doing some research on people that end up as they have. That people like this are more likely to have been very ticklish as little children. Were you ticklish? Were you ticklish?
No.
Dr. Lyndon Smith speaks in a serious, endless rhythm while Johnny Richard Pryor and Tim Conway sit beside him, trying to survive it, as Conway's face becomes the real event, looking like a man trapped between politeness and total panic. Conway and Carson don't want to talk.
Sit and just rap without all of this silliness.
Conway and Carson lean into being old friends who shouldn't need prepared questions, which turns into wonderfully painful silence, where both men sit pretending the dead air isn't destroying the interview. The euphemism joke on Conan O'Brien.
Nice, huh? Who would have thought?
Whoa,
wow. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here.
Well, I had nothing else to do, so I thought I'd drop by. And
Same with me. Same with
I
me.
haven't seen Andy in a while, so I thought.
Why did you walk out? That is the popcorn we give backstage to the guests.
yes,
Why did you walk out with it?
Because a lot of times when you come out here and you're on the show, somebody goes in and steals what they've given you.
Yeah.
So I brought that little sucker with me.
This moment perfectly highlights how Tim's delivery could not break Johnny Carson, but Conan too. Tim is still funny on Queen Latifah.
Well, I didn't have time. It took me almost 3 days to write this thing. So, yeah, and it's all in big print like this. So
many great stories.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much. I haven't read it, but I'm going to.
I love this quote, though, that Bob Newhart wrote. He said, I couldn't put the book down. It was very clever of Tim to put glue on each page.
Yeah.
Seriously,
Funny guy.
This interview has the relaxed feel of a veteran comic looking back without turning anything into a lecture as he talks about his career with the same casual tone he used to set up jokes on Carson decades earlier. Conway and Harvey Korman crack up Larry King.
John Amos is going, he's trying to kill us. He's trying to kill us. I like it when you work with a chimp, though, the guy goes, the chimp's going, the guy says, excuse me, let me just, I'll take him over in the corner and settle him down. And you hear, the guy takes a 2x4 and goes, boom! There you go. He seems a little more settled now. And this monkey's like, then he comes around and takes your face off, because you're the first one he comes out of this coma, rips your face off.
That's funny.
But other than that, it's great.
Oh, gosh.
The Larry King interview with Tim and Korman works as a comedy history lesson that never becomes dry as Harvey brings the memory of trying to survive Tim on set while he sits there looking like the innocent party in the whole story. Breaking up on camera with Harvey Korman.
So that I had gloves on and I pretended I couldn't get the doorknob open. So I turned around and sat on it and tried to be like a pair of pliers so that I was turning and I was sitting on the doorknob. Now I know he has to open the door because he comes over and opens the doorknob. Now I'm sitting there with this doorknob between my legs and he's left with, geez, do I go for the doorknob? What do I do? So it was situations like that the audience could see that, that was manufactured and it was genuine. And now what are these two morons going to do?
This clip focuses on Harvey's inability to keep a straight face as Tim explains the breaking process with a calmness that makes it sound almost scientific, while Harvey's side adds the suffering and Tim's side adds the quiet pride of a man who knew exactly what he was doing all along. Conway and Harvey Korman on Jay Leno.
It doesn't really matter.
God, you're welcome every
Can we
day.
have our check for tonight? Could we have, before we... I'd get something in writing on that tomorrow. I would. You know who did that? Yes, who?
Hal Roach. Hal Roach was here for his 100th birthday. You know the guy that did Laurel Behind
yes.
And he's waiting backstage, and he says, can I get paid now? And I said, well, we'll pay after the show. And he goes, like this. He grabs my hand like he had vice grips. No, I want to get paid now. And I went, ow, it's like 100. And I said, well, I'll get you a check. He goes, no, I don't take a check. And we have to get cash from state. We have to get the money up before he would come out.
I think that's a pretty good idea. I don't see what's so unusual.
Tim Conway and Harvey Korman with Jay Leno gives the old partnership a different late-night setting, as Jay has the energy of a host who knows he is sitting between two comedy veterans with decades of stories ready to explode outward in any direction. Conway and Harvey Korman look back on the dentist sketch.
I cheated on my final. And besides, I had mononucleosis the last semester, so I didn't get a chance to work on people like the other guys, so most of my work was just done with animals.
I don't care about animals. Just please fix this tooth.
Yeah, but it isn't the same working on animals and people.
Doctor, I don't care. Please, I'm in terrible pain.
Yeah.
Please.
Well, please give it a try.
Conway and Korman revisit the dentist sketch from a storytelling angle rather than simply replaying the routine, as Tim's explanation is funny, since he describes the chaos with the plain tone of someone giving a technical report to a colleague, while Harvey's reactions remind viewers that working with Conway meant living in constant professional danger of complete public breakdown.
Well, so what? Well, you're going to get them all icky.
No, I won't.
You won't?
No, I won't.
Okay, well, maybe we could just wait till it falls out,
Please, doctor.
Okay.
Ah, see? I was right. What? Well, you got it all icky. Here you go. Better rinse out a little bit. There you go. Just rinse that out, and then we'll...
The best part is hearing how a bit that looked loose and accidental still had Tim's precise comic instincts underneath every single choice he made during the performance. Conway understood exactly where to slow down, when to pause, and how long to let Harvey suffer before the audience got everything they needed from the moment.
It wasn't like, no, listen, just let's save ourselves some money and not do this. So they said, okay, well, try it and dress and see what happens. And then I introduced the Novocaine portion of it, so it went on a little bit from there, too.
This has become a comedy classic is all.
Yeah, what was it like without the Novocaine?
Slow.
What was the...
Well, it was just this
it
guy.
Was okay,
it was okay. But you wouldn't assume that was going to be the highlight of the show.
He never brags loudly, but the pride is completely visible in the specific details he chooses to share when describing what he was actually doing while Harvey was melting beside him on camera. The clip works as both a funny interview moment and an accidental breakdown of how his comedy actually functioned underneath the innocent surface he always maintained. Korman's recollection of specific physical reactions he had during filming adds a layer the audience watching the original sketch couldn't have accessed, showing that the off-screen performance was almost as entertaining as the broadcast version. Tim tells his favorite Harvey Korman stories.
He ruined his suitcase. So I ripped it apart. I was so mad. Well, you could tell her about Hail Columbus story. He got me to go in with him and two other guys on buying a racehorse, $120,000 with $30,000 a piece, and the horse was named Hail Columbus. And he told me that this was going to be a magnificent horse. He was going to win a lot of races. They would be stud feet. My $30,000 would probably turn into $3 million or something. It was a great investment, and it'll be fun.
Conway, talking about his favorite Harvey Korman stories, is funny for how affectionate and merciless he manages to be at exactly the same time throughout the entire interview, as he clearly loved Harvey in the most genuine way, but never once let that love stop him from turning every memory into the most perfectly timed possible joke about Harvey's complete inability to survive their shared professional life.
So then there was the feed bill and this bill and the trainer's bill, so it was costing a lot more per month. And then the horse decided it couldn't run because it was depressed. So they had to bring in a psychiatrist. So there was an additional fee. And the psychiatry wasn't helping. Of course, they didn't have antidepressants in those days, so they didn't have that. So then they had a theory that his testicles were too large and that was holding him back.
His delivery makes every story feel like he is simultaneously remembering a dear friend and quietly reloading a prank that he has already decided to fire at the next available opportunity. The humor comes from how lightly he describes moments that must have felt genuinely impossible for Harvey to survive during live broadcasts where starting over wasn't available as an option. Conway's pauses are still perfectly placed, even in a simple interview setting decades removed from the original incidents, showing that the instinct never actually left him regardless of the format or the stakes. He lets the listener picture Harvey slowly and completely falling apart.
And we're all standing around our other two partners, and there's the horse, and there's the Australian guy. And he says, I'm ready to give you $120,000. Whoa, actually, we're getting our money back. And they're saying, fine. I said, no, wait a minute. So we want to have a meeting. So the four of us get together. I think we can do it. All right, let's go. So he said, well, okay, if you don't think that's enough, I have another check here for $160,000. So, that's wonderful. Thank you so much. And I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm getting my money back.
Then lands the next detail with a voice so gentle, it barely qualifies as a delivery, rather than a casual observation. The sweetness of the segment is real, but it still carries the edge of a comic who knows exactly where the laugh is located and walks directly toward it, regardless of what surrounds the moment. His affection for Harvey reads as genuine throughout the interview, while his comedy instinct keeps operating underneath the sentiment showing that for Conway, the two things were never actually separate. The way he describes Harvey's suffering carries a specific tenderness that turns what could be simple simple roasting into something that sounds closer to tribute delivered through laughter. Each story adds to a portrait of a working comedy partnership where one man's complete commitment to the bit was matched only by the other's complete inability to escape it, no matter how many times he had been through the same experience before. The interview closes this list perfectly, since it shows Conway doing what he always did, which is finding the exact right amount of affection and mischief to hold in the same hand at the same time, and making both of them feel completely natural. Tim Conway spent 5 decades turning silence into comedy, timing restraint into devastation, and the most innocent possible face into the most dangerous possible weapon on television, because from his first Carson appearance to his very last interview, he never once needed to raise his voice to make every person in the room lose complete control. These 14 moments captured a comedian whose absolute funniest never required a costume, a sketch setup, or even a punchline, since his timing was the joke, and it never once stopped working. Which Tim Conway moment do you think showed him at his most unstoppably funny? Do you think these moments highlighted his best moments throughout his career? Let us know what you think in the comments and subscribe for more classic comedy moments like these.